I am nervous, but nobody's here yet, so that's fine. Can y'all hear me? If you can, so I've never done a live before. So I'm learning, we're all learning together. But there's a chat on the side where you can talk, and that's why I need y'all to answer all the questions. But the live don't start for another 2 minutes. So let's wait. Hey, there are 4 people on. This is so cool. Oh no. Y'all, I'm trying to send a broadcast to people, but I'm also trying to get the link. So hold up. Okay, there we go. That's one. And let's see. Okay, got that. Hi everyone, if you're here. That's so weird because I can't see y'all face. So I don't know what y'all are seeing, but gonna start in a minute or two. And oh hi T. Oh, thank you so much, girl. I wasn't sure if anybody was coming. So I'm just on my phone trying to send out a broadcast to people. So to hopefully get hey Sean! Oh my gosh, hi! Yo, all me and Sean, we go back. We've never met before. I actually recorded a video of our story, Boy, so many story times, so many content ideas, but he helped me out when I was trying to travel. Yes. And then we became big friends. Hey, thanks so much for coming on. Okay. So, oh, the picture that they saved. Okay, anyways, broadcast. Whoa! Oh, congratulations! And yes, you were supposed to come to Antigua how long now? But then now you just have to bring the whole family. Anyways, anybody else who's on the chat, please say hi so I can see at least who I'm talking to. Or if you're shy, that's okay too. But oh, I need the thumbnail. Y'all should see the picture. Look how YouTube have me looking when I'm trying to broadcast to people. That's not flattering. Anyways, okay, it's 101 and I want to be on time. Oh, hi, Victor. Oh, we got a like international group here. The Caribbean people representing. We have Antigua. Oh, yes, and feel free to say what country you're from. Y'all know I love a flag session. Bien, gracias. Y tú, like a Spanish man. So we got Antigua, we have Trinidad, we have two Trinidad. One Trinidad is representing from Bahamas. Ooh, hi from St. Thomas. Hi. Ooh, Canada. We real international. Hey, y'all making me so excited right now. Walk with me. You dodged the hurricane. I hope you made it out safe. Well, clearly you did because you're the alignment. Wait for the questions though. And you clearly have not been watching the videos. Okay, so let me start. So everybody, welcome to the Global Gyal Live. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This means a lot. It means a lot, a lot, a lot. And I just wanted to check in because I really haven't been releasing videos. And as you all know, if you've been watching, it's because I've been moving to a new country. So, as a recap, I was living in Ghana, which I think y'all all know, and now I am living in Colombia. So, for the last week, I moved. Let me just double check, but I feel like I moved 3 weeks ago, which is weird. Yes, let me see. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3. Yes, y'all, today is 3 weeks since I've been here in Colombia. Whoa. So I wasn't posting any videos and stuff because I was moving and figuring life out. So I would just want to give y'all an update and touch bases because I miss y'all. And yeah, and also present y'all with an opportunity to ask me any questions you may have. So Victor done start to fire questions in the chat, but definitely any questions that you may have. I put this out on my Instagram as well, and I had some people ask me questions, so I've saved them. Oh, here we go, and I have them here. So as a recap, I'm here in Colombia. I have just moved into my official apartment and I am living in the second largest city in Colombia. It's called Medellin, and it's Medellin, but you pronounce it double L's with a like a kind of J accent. If anybody knows Spanish, please to help me, Jack. So Aleka, hey, I love that. I like us in another room over there. That's hilarious. Okay, so questions. First, somebody asked, okay, let me answer the first question that's in the chat, which is from Victor. And Victor says, who is the new chick you're rolling with? And the new chick that I'm rolling with is not really new. That's Alexa Edwards, who's in the chat right now. And her name is Aleka. Aleka and I have been friends since primary school. I know Aleka since probably about 4 or 5 years old. And we grew up together in Antigua, and she moved to Ghana for 6 months with she moved to Ghana for 6 months when I was over there. And then after that, I was like, yo, like, come Colombia with me now. And she was like, okay. And now she's in Colombia. I've kind of converted her into a global gyal, and I love it. If anybody else wants to become a global gyal and join us, let me know. But yes, so that is Aleka. Her name is Aleka. Follow her on Instagram. Her Instagram is like, and her TikTok is Hey Aleka at Hey Aleka. But that is who the person is. A really, really good friend of mine. We know each other for forever. Been to school, here, there, everywhere. So that's who it is. Okay, some more questions. Definitely ask any questions in this chat, but I'm going to go off of questions that other people have asked me. So one person asked, her name is forever underscore Tia. And they asked, how do you go about choosing a country to visit or live? Now, I guess this is a general travel question. And that's a very good question. Somebody in my comments the other day was like, how you choose your countries? Is it Lucky Dip? And I cracked up. I was like, no, not Lucky Dip. If y'all know about Lucky Dip, please let me know. I used to love a Lucky Dip, but I also used to think it was a waste of money. Anyways, how do I choose? So let me try to make this short because I just chat. I decided to move to New Zealand almost 5 years ago. And I decided on that country because I had heard New Zealand was absolutely beautiful, right? Beautiful. And when people told me they're looking you in your eyes and they're like, it's an absolutely beautiful country. And something about it spoke to me. I'd never heard really much about New Zealand outside of cricket. So I was like, okay, I'm going. So, and actually that makes me want to pedal back. I kind of just go with a feeling. And I know it sounds weird, but hopefully it makes sense. I go with a feeling in terms of the country. I kind of let myself and everybody around me, kind of figure it out. So when I was in New Zealand, so New Zealand was the first place, and I kind of went on the feeling. And then after that, I decided to touch a country on a different continent, on a continent that I've never been to. So that was kind of the foundation. So I choose a country and a continent that I've never been to. So I went to Australia as well, and that was a continent. So then I was like, oh, let me try go. I had never been to Asia, Africa, and South America. And so I narrowed it down I went by continents. And then after that, I would just tell people, I'd be like, hey, yo, I'm trying to go to Africa. And they're like, oh, I've been to Ghana. I've been to Senegal. Senegal is really nice. And Ghana is really nice. And then once I hear a country coming up more than once, I'm kind of like, oh, let me look more into that. And then things just kind of align. So hopefully that makes sense in terms of how I choose the country. And I did it by continents first. And then I went to kind of regions, but also just going off of what people share. And that's exactly what happened with Ghana in a sense. I knew a Ghanaian and I spoke to him. And actually Ghana was a bit more. I chose West Africa because I like the music. I was like, I like to go out, so I don't see myself going out to East African music, but hey, I will do it. And then Ghana, I knew somebody who was Ghanaian, so then I was like, oh, let me try Ghana, man. And Ghana is heavily touristic. Another thing to it is when people kind of tell me about the countries and stuff, I do a little bit of research and I find out, is that country, do they have big tourism? Is there a big tourism industry? And that also helps because that tells me, oh, this country is not new to foreigners. They will have certain things. If somebody's walking on the street, people are not going to be confused, like, who the hell is that? People are going to be like, oh, that's probably a tourist. They're lost. Maybe let me go help them or whatnot. But when they have a high tourism industry, I feel safer traveling to that country because I feel as though, okay, the country itself, the people are used to foreigners coming in and exploring and stuff like that, so it'll be a bit easier. So that too is another thing. So even though it's like, oh, I listen to my heart and that tells me where to go, at the same time I'm like, okay, does this country, is it a popular tourist country, is it a popular tourist destination? Also, do I know people there? That's another big one. And more often than not, I don't choose it based on if I know people, but when I choose the country, somehow somebody I know knows somebody who lives there as well. So I guess those are the three things. I just trust my gut, based on the continent. What else did I say? The people, tourism and connections as well. Going to a question in the chat. What's your main reason for visiting Colombia beside as a tourist? Milk Millie. I see what you did there. Are you going back to Ghana? Okay, main reason for visiting to Colombia besides as a tourist. Again, it's because I wanted to go to South America. And again, it's because Colombia kept popping up when I spoke to people who have been to countries in South America as a country to visit, as a beautiful country and stuff like that. So that's really why I chose it. And my reason for visiting is really just exploring and learning about this culture and learning about this country that I've only heard about, but I know nothing about. That's why I travel. Honestly, it's just because of that. So I'm going to figure out what it is about Colombia. So I guess it's just being based as a tourist. Hi daddy, my dad's here. Hey. And am I going back to Ghana? I do not have plans right now to go back to Ghana because I have other places that I want to go to. But I feel as though I'm going to go back to Ghana. Ghana, a lot of things just worked out very, very easily, unplanned, but it was just so, like kismet or so coincidental. Ghana is a place where I found it was like that. So I feel as though I'm probably going to end up back in Ghana. Potentially do some Ghanaian global Gyal tours. Who knows? Hint, hint. But yes, so not right now, not in the near future, not that I can see, but who knows? If y'all see me in Ghana in the next month or two, don't say nothing. Just be like, what happened and why are you back there? Okay, another person, Giaful04, she asked on Instagram, top to us about the research process. How did you find safe places to live and see? So for research, what I like to do, so I realize I'm the type of person, if I'm gonna go online and research about a country, I'm going to get overwhelmed. There's so much information out there about places and stuff like that. And there's also so many biases as well that I personally do not like to go and do research. What I like to do is somehow find people who have either visited or live in the country and ask them. I asked them, yo, what is it actually like to live in your country? Where are the safe neighborhoods to live? What is it to do? What would you recommend to do? And so that gives me, and I asked more than one person because, again, each person may have their own bias, but at least I'm talking to somebody who has been through the experience or who lives the experience versus going online and looking up Google or who paid the most ads and so pushing their toys in your face and stuff like that. I love going off of recommendations. I think those are the best. And again, I may not necessarily know somebody in the country, but when I start to mention to people, oh, I'm moving to Colombia, then somebody's just like, I randomly met a Colombian 2 days ago, I can ask some questions. And I'm like, yeah, introduce me, ask them all the questions. So, and when it came to places to live, this is exactly how it happened. My dad, Foster Derek, he's in the group chat. Um, he was in Antigua, in my island in the Caribbean, and was out liming and met a Colombian. And he knew I was trying to go to Colombia. So he was like, yo, my daughter is trying to go to Colombia. Can I give her your contact information? And it actually, like, they left, they never got their contact information. And my dad continued going back to the same place where he had met them. I was like, I hope I can find these people. And eventually he found them. And turns out that the person, the Colombian, had a place to live in the city and rents rooms in her apartment as an Airbnb, and had 2 rooms available. It's 2 of us, me and Aleka now, 2 rooms available for the time that we needed. And that's how I found a place to stay. I literally just walked with my suitcases and rocked up. Y'all, I'm sitting here at the desk. I'm gonna bring the desk, but it's just through random connections in that regard. So that's how I did research, or that's how I do research. I love talking to people who have been there and who have visited. Next question, Victor. Okay, no. It's a good idea for the channel for Suti. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Victor. Real question is, why you ain't bringing me back no wine from New Zealand? Listen, my bag was heavy, and plus I didn't come back to the Caribbean. Listen, I want to go back to New Zealand, though. I do. I want to go back to New Zealand. I want to go back to Australia. So who knows if we'll do tours there as well. But all you have to do, come with me, and then you can bring back all the wine you want. Another question from someone was Caribbean sea moss farms, which is my dad. Hit him up on Instagram for your sea moss. He asks, how far does your money go in Colombia? And I thought this was a very good question. So your money goes far if you make currency that's outside of the Colombian peso. First of all, the currency is called the Colombian peso, and it's $1 is 4,000 peso. Yeah, 4,000 peso. And I would say treat it as though, just drop the 3 zeros, treat it as though it's $4, but for 4 Colombian pesos. So $1 is 4 Colombian pesos. And then I would say after that, treat it as though, it's a regular shopping. So if you're going shopping and you're buying food, that's 20 pesos. And in Antigua, if something was $20, a $20 plate of food, I'm like, oh, that's good, man. But it's 20 pesos. And so 20 pesos, like, divided by 4, that's 5. That'll be $5 for a plate of food for 20 pesos. And a 20 peso plate of food is expensive, I would say. I feel as though when you go to the tourist restaurants and so, you can get stuff for 30, 40, 50 peso, and 50 pesos, or 50,000, I should say. That's $12 and 50 cents. And if you want to do the EC conversion for people in EC, let me see, it's almost not exactly 2 to 1, but 1 EC might be a little less than 2. So almost cut the price in half. So if something is 30 peso, if you buy some food that's 30 pesos, then it might be 15 EC. So a great example, Alec and I went out last night, got a big plate of pasta. Check my Instagram for the pasta. Big plate of pasta. It was about 40 pesos. So let's say 20 EC. And that is my dinner last night and my lunch today. So another good example, Alec and I went grocery shopping and we bought for about a week and a half worth of food, which added up to about 100 US dollars or 270 EC dollars. And that was about almost 500,000 pesos. So imagine going grocery shopping for a week in Antigua and spending $270. What are you getting? Like, I don't know, 7 things? Because Antigua directly expensive, but I believe Colombia is a lot cheaper. It is a lot cheaper because they don't import a lot. They actually manufacture a lot here. And it's just the currency difference. So yes, my money does go far. However, it's always that when you feel everything cheap, you spend. And then when time comes, you calculate, you're like, but how me end up spend how much money? And that's exactly what happened to me. So that's why for the last week and a half, I was like, let's calm down because you done spend over your month budget and wait till October reach for you to spend again. Let me see if there are any other questions here. Yay, Tiana's up for the Ghana group tour. Somebody said I'd like to ask for your daughter's hand. What are the requirements? Listen, please don't. Please don't. Oh, you're present from Antigua. That's dope. That's really cool. Another question is from forever_Tia. Is do you plan on learning to speak fluent Spanish? And I don't plan on it, but I want to. I feel as though it's going to happen. When you're in a country and they don't speak, and you do not speak their language, you're going to learn a language. You're going to be lost. You are going to be hella lost in the beginning, which I kind of am. But I think I'm surviving for 2 reasons. And that's one, because of Aleka. It's both of us, not just one of us. And 2, on my Spanish that I learned from high school. I learned Spanish. They were teaching me Spanish since primary school and high school. So the little key words like to talk or to eat, I know them. And so I just imagine myself, I'm going into a restaurant and I'm like, pollo, chicken, and that just one word. So just really hope that they understand, which they do as well. And body language is definitely a thing. Body language will get you through. So yes, I plan to learn to speak fluent Spanish. I don't plan to go to a class, to be honest. I plan to I want to meet friends. I want to go out. I just want to practice. And it's scary, but you got to be confident in what you're doing. I'm probably going to be using the incorrect grammatical terms and words and stuff like that. But hey, you're learning. And once people speak slower, sometimes the Uber drivers, 1 or 2 of them have know a little bit of English and know a little bit of Spanish. So we kind of cross. But once people are speaking slow, I kind of get just keywords and then I'm good. I've started practicing on Duolingo, which is a language learning app in case anybody wants to know. And yes, Alek has been doing Duolingo for almost 70 days straight. So she's better than I am. So again, between the 2 of us, we're surviving. She also plans to go to the Spanish lessons. So I'm planning to learn in the street. She plans to learn in the class. And then I hope that we get to learn there. Let's go to the questions. Bipo, I'm so sorry if I'm messing up your name. Bipoa Basuglo. He's always watching my videos. And I love that. Thank you so much. Always watching, always commenting. Do you have a boyfriend? If yes, which country does he come from? Wow, y'all want to be all up in my business, man. And I'm not about to answer that question because this is all about travels and Colombia. And I like to keep my personal life out of there's a handful of personal things that I like to keep to myself, and that's one of them. So I can't answer that question for you. When the time comes, if there's anybody, if there is, y'all will know, I guess. Let's see, another question from GFO04 Did you feel nervous to move to Colombia? Yes. YES. I was very nervous. And I have done this packing up and moving to a new country. Yeah, thank you for understanding. I've done this packing up and moving to a new country. This is my fourth country now. And everyone is a bit nerve wracking. This one was nerve wracking because because I do not know the language. I'm not fluent in the language. I am basic beginner Spanish. So I was extremely nervous because I was like, oh boy, what if I can't communicate? What if I'm struggling to do this? But I realized that even though I was nervous, I'm still gonna do it because this is exactly why I do this. I'm nervous because I'm uncomfortable, because I'm scared. But I need to push my boundaries and I need to push myself in that regard. So still just go. And two, I felt more comfortable because I wasn't by myself. I was like, yo, if I'm struggling, I'm struggling. I have somebody right next to me struggling too, and we will struggle together and figure it out. So Aleka definitely helped to give me a bit more confidence in that regard because I wouldn't be by myself. And then three, I will say that once we got to Colombia, and from the moment, okay, perfect example, we landed, going through immigration. I was like, we don't speak any Spanish. What's going to happen? The immigration officers just said keywords like donde habitación or donde vive, where do you live or where you living, el hotel, and it's like, oh, that sounds like hotel, see, and they asked minimal questions, got through, we're like, phew. Then we had to figure out how to get a taxi, and we went and we spoke to a taxi driver and we whipped out our phones. Google Translate is a lifesaver. And we plug in, hey, how much to go to so and so and so? And we made him read it and he typed back and he read it and we got a taxi to go. And then after that, we were like, okay, you know what? They don't understand us. We don't understand them. But we got our phones. We know our minimal Spanish, so we good. And it definitely helped me feel a lot less nervous just knowing, okay, if I can get myself through immigration and from the airport to the hotel, we can figure it out. We can figure it out. So I was a lot less nervous then. Keep your questions coming. I did want to do 30 minutes of this. Y'all can, so it will be 5 more minutes left. Y'all can let me know if you want to continue, if you want us to continue. I could probably do another 15 minutes. If you have more questions, if you like these questions that are being asked, that's good too. I can continue talking. But then after 45 minutes, I feel like that's a lot. But I'm gonna just take a sip of water here. Somebody else, OGFO04, she asked a few questions. What are you most excited to learn about or see on this journey? Great question. What am I most excited about? I'm most excited about, that's a good question. I haven't figured it out yet. For some reason, I feel as though Colombia is going to be great for my channel, for Global Gyal. I just feel it. I feel as though the things that I'm gonna explore and experience, the challenges that I'm gonna go through and overcome, it's going to change me as a person. I'm gonna grow a lot. Surviving, the confidence that I will get from surviving in a country and I don't speak their language, and probably I have a feeling I would love to be able to come out and be like, I can speak fluent Spanish or understand Spanish fluently. The country is absolutely beautiful. I can tell that already. And just showing it to y'all, I feel as though I'm going to be more and more in my element, and y'all are going to see that, and that's just gonna do so much better for Global Gyal. I also feel as though I'm at a point right now where I'm working part-time so that I can have funds to live and make content. But I'm also in a position where I'm like, okay, I'm going to be more focused on creating content for you all. So I feel as though y'all are gonna see that too. So I just get this feeling Colombia is gonna be, I'm most looking forward to and excited about the growth and what how it's going to help to transform global Gyal in a way. I hope that makes sense. So that's what that is. Um, and what made me choose Colombia? Y'all don't have no more questions? I need some more questions. So after this one, let me know if you have any more questions. Um, I just asked y'all in the chat. So what made me choose Colombia? I love telling this story, and I wasn't even actually gonna tell this story. And then my sister was like, "No, you should tell people." So, like I said, I decided to do South America. So I was like, okay, I'm going to South America. And then people are like, oh, Costa Rica is nice, but Colombia is nice too, and stuff like that. So I kept hearing Colombia pop up, right? And so I said, all right, Colombia keep popping up. And, I also don't like to go to the typical countries. So a lot of people would have recommended Costa Rica. And I'm like, Costa Rica, everybody go to Costa Rica, but I don't hear so many people talking about Colombia. So that's one of the reasons why I gravitated towards Colombia. And then, so I was kind of back and forth. I had an uncle and an aunt. Shout out to Uncle Scott and Auntie Kim, who lived in El Salvador. So I knew if I'd gone to El Salvador, maybe I might have had connections. But Colombia again kept popping up. And then my uncle in Antigua, he was asking, so where are you going to next? And I said, South America. I'm thinking about, maybe Costa Rica or Colombia. And he was like, oh, Burning Flames has been to Colombia. I said, what? Now, for those of you who don't know, Burning Flames is Antigua's main band. They're like the band, the soca, Benham, and jam band in Antigua. And if you don't know Burning Flames, please go look them up. They've been going since they were teenagers and in the 60s now. And once they knock two stones together, Antiguans and Barbadians go crazy. Caribbean people know Burning Flames. Burning Flames is kind of like the catalyst, the creators of the jam band vibe and jump and wave and thing. So he was like, Burning Flames performed in Colombia in the 80s or the 90s at this World Music Festival, and the Colombians love them. He said the Colombians love our Burning Flames. And I was like, what? Burning Flames performed in Colombia? He was like, so much so that Burning Flames went and performed in Miami, and so many people came out, and so many Colombians came out to the performance. They had to block off the street because all of them just came out and swam them. I'm like, yeah, and just jamming to their music. And apparently, there's a news article in the Miami Herald or something about how the street just blocked off because Burning Flames was performing, and the Colombians came out to represent. And so I literally was like, after that, I was like, okay, done deal. I'm going to Colombia. Because in my head, I was like, if Burning Flames can go to Colombia and the Colombians love them, another Antiguan can go to Colombia and I can be open and welcomed and loved too. So that is honestly the pivoting factor, the reason why I solidified and chose Colombia. Because Burning Flames had come here and had performed and Colombians loved them off. And Manishiam become a love Burning Flames too. So that's it. Okay, more questions. Yay! And hey, welcome, Jayla White. That's okay. That's okay if you're late. That's all good. So, am I enjoying Colombian food, and how can I compare it to Ghanaian spicy food? Oh gosh, I have to ask you that question. Yo, okay. So if y'all been watching my channel, y'all know I'm not one for spicy food, right? So Ghanaian food was a struggle for me because Ghanaians eat pepper since they're in the womb, and me can't deal with pepper. Colombian food does not have pepper. So every time I go out, I'm just like, oh, this tastes so good, or I enjoy this because I can eat it and it don't have no spicy. So I'm enjoying Colombian food for sure. They like a lot of meat. If you get something, I had a bowl or something. I don't even know what it's called. I'm going to do a better job, I promise. Colombians going to do a better job explaining everything. But it was a bowl, and I was gonna see if I could find a picture, but anyways, and it had beans, like a lot of beans, and meat. It had, I think, pork belly. It had sausage, and must be one other thing in one dish. And I'm like, boy, there's plenty meat. And I like I'd ordered something too, and same or 4 different type of meat in the one dish. So anyways, I like meat too. So I'm like, this is good. season. Another thing about Colombian food, like Ghanaian food too, is it's fresh. You can tell, and not fresh like Caribbean people think fresh, but fresh as in you can tell this comes straight off the tree. And like I had a lemonade, right? A lime juice or whatever, a lemonade. And me take a sip of that lemonade. And me say, tell man, this lemon comes straight off the tree. They just pick this and put it in the juice. I couldn't believe tamarind juice, the same thing. So the food is just, it's just, it don't have, or at least it don't taste like it have no preservative, no this and that. So the food just tastes better. The food just tastes better because it is natural stuff. And I found the same thing in Ghana as well. So what has been the most difficult up to this point? The most difficult part up to this point? Um, I think, I don't know about the most difficult, but one of the difficult parts is managing other people and what versus what you're experiencing. So let me explain. Colombia has a history of violence and stuff like that, and the drugs. People know that. But so a lot of people, what I noticed was people who had never visited Colombia were like, be safe. Colombia is scary. We really don't think you should go. This, that, da 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 da, and stuff like that. And everybody who had been to Colombia was like, Colombia is beautiful. It's an amazing country. Make sure you check out this spot. Make sure you try this food and that kind of stuff. So one of the difficult parts is actually being here and trying to be aware, be cognizant of, regardless of what country I'm in, you have to be careful. You have to check your stuff, make sure your stuff is with you. Don't lack common sense, don't lack street smart. So regardless of that. But I have to be cognizant to not make that change my, just determine my whole experience. When I'm walking on the street, I have to be like, don't be nervous of this. It's okay. It's okay to walk down the street. Nobody's gonna like do something to you. So I think that's been a difficult part, just balancing the two and what people's thoughts are versus what I'm experiencing, and just be in the moment. Because so the last 2 weeks took a lot of downtime. I barely left the apartment, barely. So in terms of the Spanish speaking and communicating, not necessarily, I haven't been communicating that much. So that part hasn't been very difficult. And when we do communicate, we've been understanding, but it's been in small doses. And then last but not least, I guess for difficulty is just budgeting. Boy, because it's a whole new country, but it takes a lot to move here and to set yourself up. So then I'm like, okay, maybe I won't go out tonight because I gotta just wait and just, don't spend off all your money out in one go type of thing. So those would be my top 3, I guess. What has been your most memorable experience so far? That is easy. When we first landed in Bogota, which is the capital city, I have an uncle and an auntie, Uncle Scott and Auntie Kim, who used to live in El Salvador. Uncle Scott used to live in Colombia many, many years ago, and he still has friends. And apparently one of the friends lives in the mountains 2 hours away, and him and his wife built a cottage. Cristobal and Laura. Nope, not Laura. Oh my gosh. Monica. Cristobal and Monica. They built this cottage on their property, on their finca, and he's an architect. And this cabin is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. If you want to, I'm going to put it in the chat. It's called Fawa Haprosa in something, but I'll put it in the chat. It is just so peaceful, so well thought out, so well aesthetically pleasing. And they cooked for you. They cook for you, so you get breakfast and you get dinner. And I was just like, whoa, this was not what I was expecting. And they're so nice. They're such genuinely nice people. So that experience was just a culmination of the beauty of Colombia in terms of the landscape, the beauty of Colombia in terms of the people, because they're both Colombian, the beauty of Colombia in terms of the food. They did cook us like some Mediterranean food as well, but still, and just the beauty of Colombia. I feel as though we got it in a nice micro dose there. And so that just, it was an amazing, and we also did not expect, my uncle's like, oh, you could stay with them type of things. I'm expecting maybe catch up on a couch or something. You never know when you're staying with people. So we just felt like we were treated like princesses, really. And then turns out that my uncle and auntie they were supporting their friends, but also supporting us, sponsored us to 3 nights. We were their first official guests as well in the cabin. So it was just like, whoa, so nice. So nice. And you get to driving from Bogota to the place is called San Francisco. Yes, it's San Francisco in Colombia, not in the US. And actually, I find a lot of Colombians don't even know that. But driving there, you're just driving and you're just seeing these mountains. When I say mountains, yeah, I come from such a small island. My mountain is like a hill. But the clouds are right there. The clouds are coming to you, and it's just vast landscape. And it's like, whoa, what? This is a thing, and we're going here, and we're going to stay here. So check my Instagram so you can see. I'm also going to have a video tour of it, so you can meet Cristobal and Monica, and you can just see what it is. And if you're ever coming through to Colombia, I definitely encourage you to stay there. The only thing is it's kind of next to the highway, so it's not as quiet as you would hope. But other than that, it's perfect. Sum up Colombia in 5 words. Okay, T. Beautiful, magnificent, beautiful, magnificent, affordable, what's the word? Unique, yes, and I don't know. I kind of want to say truthful, because people, they don't run from their history, but they're still very proud of it. Rich. So let me say rich. Yes, it's rich. And have you ever regretted visiting a particular place since you started? Nope, not once. I have been, no, 2018, 19, 20, 21. Whoa. The end of this year will make 5 years of me basically living on the road, me moving to new countries. And 5 years, 4 countries, 3 continents. I have never regretted a particular place. I'm the type of person who, I feel as though everything happens for a reason, even if you don't see it now. All of my experiences have been amazing. They've been learning lessons, but they've been amazing. And they've been amazing through the connections that I have made, through the people. One major lesson that I've learned is no matter where you travel in the world, the people make the experience. For Colombia, I'm still new, so I still haven't met as many people. So I think that will help as well. I haven't done as much exploring, but nope, I've never regretted any place that I've been to. And I would recommend all of them. All. What's the weather like in the capital? Oh, fun fact, Bogota is on a mountain. And when I say mountain, I mean like 4,000 feet above sea level, or no, 4,000 meters above sea level. So almost 6,000 or 7,000 feet above sea level. If you come from a small island like me, you don't know what I mean, because sea level is right there. You just flat on the sea. But Bogota is cold. And when I say cold, I mean, when we went, the days were 17 degrees Celsius. So I don't know if that's 60s or 50s. Yeah, but it will drop to lower, like 10 degrees, which is probably in the 50s, maybe 40s. So in Bogota, you have to wear a jacket and a scarf, boots. That fall weather is a constant thing in Bogota. And that's because it's so high up in the sky, And a lot of people think, oh, Colombia is warm, but it does have its warm sections. Colombia, we got a whole geography lesson saying that coming to. Colombia has mountains, so it's cool up there. It has sea level. So Cartagena, it's by the Caribbean Sea, so it's very warm there. Medellin, it looks like it might be in a valley, so Medellin is warm. It's in the early 20s if you speak Celsius, so 20, 22, 23. It gets up to 28, which is 70s, 80s in Fahrenheit. It has desert area, and it has Amazon area, and it has Pacific region area. It's so vast. It's such a vast country, and it's huge. It's absolutely huge. I won't even lie. I didn't even know what Colombia was on the map before I came here. But in my research, I looked and I was like, whoa. And then I found out, Colombia has a little bit of everything. So I'm excited to explore that. If I can ask, how do you afford your travels and afford to live where you are? Do you save religiously, or do you find odd jobs that pay a lot? It's a bit of both. Let me tell you, it's how can I afford my travels? First of all, so when I started, I was working at a hotel, and I set myself a goal to save. And that I built a nest egg really. And I was like, okay, so if I go and I move to this country, I can live off of this for at least 3 months until I find a job or something. So that's one, save religiously. But also when I started on this, I told myself I wanted to travel more than I wanted to be comfortable, more than I wanted to live a luxurious life. So I had to, in my mind, set a thing of, I don't care where I'm living, but I will be willing to catch up somewhere to pay dirt cheap rent to be able to live in this country, type of thing. So that's one thing. So it's the mindset of, I want to travel luxuriously. So it's not traveling, it's how you travel. And that's one thing. Saving is another thing. Saving for sure. Three is, every country that I go to, I find a job. I have worked some odd jobs, y'all. I really have. And again, it's not that they pay a lot, but I make it work for me. So in New Zealand, um, I worked as a receptionist at a gym. I taught English online. I worked as an admin assistant. And those didn't pay me a lot. But then the fourth thing is, um, the connections or the people that I've gotten to know have helped me as well. So um, one of my tricks, or one of my tips is, whenever I go somewhere, if I can stay with somebody, if somebody is generous enough to put me up for my first week or 2 weeks while I get myself situated, it helps tremendously. And somehow it's always worked out that way. When I was in New Zealand, when I decided to move to New Zealand, I didn't think I knew anybody, and I randomly met someone who's from the Caribbean, in the Caribbean, who lived in New Zealand, and she gave me a place to live for the first 2 weeks when I was there. And so that was me not having to pay for accommodation. That was me not having to pay for food. She cooked all the time. And then she gave me a room in her house to stay, and I just contributed to the household for peanuts. I barely paid anything in comparison to what I could have paid, but it was from her generosity. So I one way that I've managed to travel as well is through the generosity of others. People who may know somebody who went to college with, somebody who my mother grew up with, might take me out for dinner, and just to make sure that I'm okay. And so that's one less bill that I have to pay. Or when I was in Australia, I did not live by myself. I lived with a whole family, and I was their nanny. So that is me. I didn't have the privacy of a place to myself, of a whole place to myself. I had my own room and bathroom, but I was sharing everything, And so, but I didn't have to pay room and board, and food was included, and I got a stipend. So that's me not having to spend X amount of dollars on certain things, but instead I can spend it on me going. And then on top of that, almost every income that I've gotten, I save half of it. And so if that means I can't go out tonight or for a whole weekend because some of it has to be saved so that I can move to the next country, then I'm doing that. So generosity of others, saving, and then too, sometimes, my family is super, super supportive. So sometimes like an auntie will like slip something to me, or, my mother's gonna like pay for my lunch today or something like that. So different things like that help and go a long way. So it's a combination. It's a combination of saving. It's a combination of being frugal. It's a combination of having a frugal travel mindset, and it's a combination of the generosity of others. And there's so many good people out there in the world. And I guess I just trust that. I trust that. It's like I decided to move in with strangers so I can save money and live in Sydney, Australia, in downtown. And it worked out. They're my family now. They are my family. So it all just depends. And that took forever. Or is Lex Edwards funding? No. Sis is, she and all, you gotta ask her. She saved and she works, she freelances and stuff. And so I also have a part-time job. Another trick is to live in countries where the currency or whatever money that you're making is stronger than the currency, or it'll go a bit further. So New Zealand and Australia were expensive, but I was living with people, so that helped to save. In Ghana, I was living by myself, but I have an online job. I have an online job where I'm making dollars essentially, and it's part-time, so it's not a lot, but the dollar goes that much further in Ghana. And I still have that job. So again, it's a small amount, but the money goes that much further in Colombia because the dollar is stronger. So it's also picking countries where your money can go further in a sense. Went to quickly spread the word, but back now. Your discipline is admirable. Oh, thank you, sis. Thank you. Where would you say you build meaningful networks in your travels? So I rely, a huge chunk of it is just my network in terms of my family, and I tell them that I'm going somewhere and then they happen to know somebody. For instance, perfect example, when I was doing research for Colombia, my aunt, she had a friend in Barbados. They were friends in high school, I think. Hadn't spoken for 30 something years, but were friends on Facebook, posted off of Facebook. She reached out to him because she knew he lived in Colombia, this Bayesian that lived in Colombia. And he was like, sure, I'll speak to her. I'll give her any tips. We sat down for almost an hour and a half and he broke down everything for me. This is the city that you should live. Maybe you shouldn't live here. Oh, you could live in this neighborhood or maybe not this neighborhood. Oh, this is the exchange rate, and broke down everything for me. So stuff like that. I was talking to my somebody that I used to work with when I was in university, my boss, she's not my friend, Dimple. And she was like, oh, I was working with 2 Colombians just the other day. So it's not that we reached out or anything, but it's just people in your network who you would never assume, but they might know somebody. But when you get to a country, another thing I like to do is Facebook groups. Okay, so I know a lot of people may or may not be on Facebook. I'm very old school. I love a Facebook. Facebook have a group for everybody. When I was in Australia and New Zealand, there was a Facebook group for Black women living in Australia and New Zealand. And that helps so much. People were like, hey, I'm looking for plantains. I can't find plantains in this area in Australia. Can somebody help me? Boom. Oh, where can I get my hair braided? Oh, I have this person who braided my hair, boom. Or that's how I found my job in Australia. I literally just posted in that group. I said, does anybody have a room to rent? I would love to rent a room from you. That way you get money and I get a safe place to live. And then the person was like, I can give you a room and a job, sis. And I was like, yes. So Facebook groups are definitely a thing. Reaching out to strangers. Take comfort in knowing that they're going through a similar experience as you. So they're trying to build a community as well. So definitely through that. Don't underestimate your own personal networks. Don't be afraid to put certain things out there. You don't have to put everything out and all your business out, but don't be afraid to put certain things out there. So if you are trying to move somewhere, trying to travel somewhere, definitely social media is your jam. I would say if you don't know, say you don't know nobody who live in Bolivia and you're trying to go to Bolivia, just Google the hashtag Bolivia and try to find somebody on Instagram. When you see they post something about Bolivia, send them a message. Yes, it might be weird, but yes, they would be grateful for it. Be like, hey, I saw that you visited Bolivia. Can you give me some tips? Where did you stay? What did you do? Reach out to those influencers like myself or whosoever else. They're more than happy to answer about their trips, or just other people, somebody who you vibe with on social media. just send them a message, man. Ask them 2 questions, and that will do. In Ghana, I made friends through people connecting me to people that they knew. I went to a networking event. I plan to go to plan to find networking events here in Colombia as well. Events where, people try to learn to speak English and people try to learn to speak Spanish and stuff like that. So do that. So yes, Facebook, social media, Facebook groups, I encourage them. Hi Ina from Portland, Oregon. What's up? You always look happy, energetic, and friendly. What's your motivation? Good question. To be honest, uh, I love giving off positive vibes because I feel as though when you give off positive vibes, you receive positive vibes. So, if anything, maybe I'm selfish because I want those positive vibes. So, I give what I want to get, and the more I'm giving it off, the more I get it. So, everybody in this chat here who's talking, I don't know some of y'all, I've never met some of y'all, but I like your vibe. And I feel as though you came on this live to talk to me because you like my vibe. So, when you give off what you want and what you're looking for, you sometimes you get it. So, and then too, I love what I do. I love doing this. I love sharing my knowledge with other people, and so I guess that's also what you're getting. I love traveling. I love global Gyal. I love learning on my travels, and so I'm sharing that with you all. And I love sharing it because I think it makes such a difference in terms of your development and your growth. And so I guess that's what you're seeing also, my passion. I also shout outs to both my parents, Dwayne and Foster. They too are very positive minded people. They always look on the bright side of things and never really complain about much and stuff like that. So I guess I copy what I saw all my life. So yeah, so that's what that is. Hi, it's Ray, Aiden's cousin. Oh, hi, Ray. Hi, yes. Oh, I love that people are tuning in. It's so cool. I know from Ghana, visa is not required for most Caribbean countries, especially those in CARICOM. But what's the visa process for Colombia? So, Antiguans don't need a visa, but I think it's the same as Ghana. So Ghana, there are a handful of Caribbean countries. There are only a few countries, about 15 countries in the world that don't need a visa to go to Ghana, and a lot of them are Caribbean. I think the same process, no, it's not the same process, but for Colombia, I do believe most Caribbean countries do not need a visa. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when I was looking, I did see a lot of the Caribbean islands on here as visa free. Y'all, I really don't think in the Caribbean we understand what we have to Latin America, to South America. I really don't think so. Maybe Trinidadians know they're very close to Venezuela, but the ones further up, I never really think of South America. I never really thought of South America as a travel destination. But it have everything, and you don't need no visa. And if you want shopping mall, Colombia has shopping mall. If you want nature, Colombia has nature. And the EC dollar is stronger than the peso. So as a travel destination, I would recommend South America. Just from what I've seen. And I've only been here for 3 weeks. So yes, we can do some Googling. You know what I wanted to do too? Boy, I want to do something about Caribbean people and the visas, the places that we can travel to visa free. Now I know because we all have our different islands and regulations and stuff, it's not gonna be that easy. But if I could do a detailed list, this St. Lucia, you can go this place for free for no visa. Not Puerto Rico. Cayman, you could go this place for free. Bahamas, I would love to do that. So hold on, let's see. I'm enjoying the information you're sharing about your travels, traveling mercies. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate all those kind of positive and motivating words. I'm also going to wrap up in a few minutes because it's almost been an hour. So just FYI. So if you have any more questions, let me know. That's very true. South America was never a destination for me until I started working where I work. Exactly. Yes. You, and you have to think about why. Why do we never think about South America? Why do we never think about West Africa? What information are we listening to? Where are we listening to it from? And that's also, again, why I like speaking to people who have been to these countries so that they can give me the firsthand experience versus this travel magazine and that online blog, because who are they catering to? Who are they catering to? Who are they talking about? So better to do, and social media age, best place to learn and to talk to people directly about stuff. What are you planning? When are you planning to begin having your global girl tours for the rest of us to join in on your travels for a bit? So great question. That is something that I'm scared to do, but I do want to do it. I feel as though I I don't know, and I'm trying. I feel as though I'm adventurous. I'm very adventurous. So I might not do the typical things. I also like nice things. So I like the nice restaurants and stuff like that. But I also love to go a hole in the wall place. So I feel as though if I was to do tours, I would kind of give the best of both worlds. And I feel like I would love to do that. When would the tours be? So let me cut to the chase. Colombia, if we can organize something, depending on who we connect with and stuff, if we can organize something for early April, would be very, very limited. My mother, who comes to almost all the countries that I've been to, and my auntie and stuff plan to come and visit. And so if we can just add on a few more people to that, because we'd already be planning stuff for them, we do that. So April, but I also know that that's a very short time span. But if people are actually interested in it, let me know. Ghana, I'm not sure. Don't hold me to it, but if I can organize something for 2024 for Ghana, that would be dope. That would be very, very dope. And yeah, I guess it just depends on demand. So let's say between 2023 and 2024 is when you can look out for potential global girl tours. And yeah, so that's that answer. Um, you are resourceful. How do you see using these 5 years for travel for your? How do you see, Ina? How do you see using these 5 years of travel for your next adventure? Um, I guess my next adventure would be seeing how I can do Global Girl full time. And that's something that I'm working towards now, honestly, finding different revenue streams of income into what I'm doing. So I feel as though my experience of the last 5 years of visiting all these countries can help me in terms of guiding or curating certain experiences when it comes to if I'm doing tours or if they're products that I really like that I want to sell, but also help to support the people who are producing the products. And just, I think, in terms of the business mindset, help me to cater to different avenues and different streams of things. I think in terms of life as well, traveling over the last 5 years, these adventures help me to be so much more open-minded. Yo, when I'm now in a country where I do not speak the language, you think I go listen, anybody who's in an English speaking country and come and try to have a conversation with me, I go talk so slow so that they can understand. Because anybody talking Spanish with me here in Colombia and they speak slowly, I am appreciative. But I'm not gonna be, like un inconsiderate. I'm not gonna treat people like they're dumb. I hope nobody treats me like I'm dumb just because I don't know their language. So, but I mean, it makes me open my mind up so much more to being just more considerate of others in terms of, okay, I'm going to do this, or I'm also going to connect with people because it's like, oh, Eti say you're from Ghana, Eti say what part? Oh, that means you're away, or that means you're no, Ashanti, that kind of stuff. I love being able to do that. I love being able to connect with people in that way. It's like, yeah. We had some club. Oh yeah, I was in Colombia. I drank Club Colombia. Yes, man, I got that in a big bottle, right? Um, So yes, I never look at Ghana as a travel destination until I saw your vlogs, and now I'm hooked on a lot of West African vloggers. Like, what am I? Oh, that's awesome, Anthony Clemenston. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah. What am I is doing it big. He's Africa's most popular YouTuber, and he has over 1 million subscribers. And his content is so real, and it's not the typical stuff. And if you hear this man's story, how he started, he was studying engineering in China and wanted to show another side of Africa. And apparently, I think he couldn't afford it, so he used a bunch of credit cards and would just edit videos like crazy. And anyways, and now he's where he's at and making a ton of money and giving back, and so very, very grateful for him. So yes, exactly. And if we in the Caribbean can get direct flights to West Africa, oh gosh, we would definitely have global Gyal tours going there in no time, man. And thank you. I should definitely do tours. Thank you. That's encouraging. That's what we need to hear. Ghana did not have enough of you to consider coming back. There's a lot of places you couldn't explore. So I won't lie. Ghana's a good size of a country. You can cover a lot of Ghana in a short space of time. However, it's still huge. There's still so many other places. So yes, you're very right. I did not get to go to a lot of places. One place I wanted to go to was the Volta region. I never got to go there. I'd like to go to the Upper West region. I've heard Wa is a good place. And yeah, just meet the people. So yes, I do want to come back to Ghana. Y'all, the moment Global Gyal starts making a ton of money, y'all will see me jet setting. I'll be back in Ghana, I'll be in Colombia, I'll be in Bolivia, Peru, um, Southeast Asia, all them kind of places, y'all. Hello. Keep watching, watch them ads, and support me, whatever else I'm doing. Nice to hear what is on the horizon for you. Yes. Are you planning on doing unedited videos of your daily travels? Not unedited, but one thing that I do want to do, and it's funny, my dad is asking me this, and my dad is the one who encouraged me. My dad sat me down a couple of weeks ago, and we literally watched YouTube for about 2.5 hours. This is how supportive my parents are. And watching a bunch of YouTubers, a bunch of vloggers, a bunch of travel vloggers, and like, oh, how do they edit? What do they do? What do they do that works that you can do as well? So one thing is that I realize I take a lot of time to edit. Editing takes up a lot of time, and I have content. If y'all know how much content I have, I keep saying so, and y'all never see it. But I have content for y'all. But I think my editing style just takes too long. So I'm going to see with changing up how I edit stuff and do a bit less editing to crank out more content for you. So definitely tell me what you think. The Colombian content is how I'm going to take the approach. So we'll see how that goes. And if that works, then who knows? Because I got stuff, man. I got stuff. I still got stuff. I did a trip to the desert in Australia in a camp. Was it a camper van? Was it a camper van? No, it wasn't a camper. Or maybe it was a camper van. Yeah, it was a camper. I did a camper van trip in the desert in Australia before I left. I did a camper van trip with the Laka in Australia. I did cooking with my granny series in Antigua. I did going around to different local places for food in Antigua. Yo, so many things, and y'all just haven't seen them because they're just on my computer, and I need to edit them. Oh wow, some more questions. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna wrap up soon. I promise. Vince and I, hi Uncle Scott. This is Uncle Scott. This is Uncle Scott who linked us with his color, my friend. At a sports bar in the Streets Jets game. Our question is, will the Steelers win the Super Bowl this year? I have no idea. Ask Rihanna. Is it just me? But to me, you seem well connected in Ghana. I like how you plan out your family itinerary when they visited you in Ghana. Yo, so I was well connected. So it was two things with Ghana. One is that a lot of people that I knew people in Ghana. So when I got there, I had a list of about 10, 15 people who I had to reach out to. And again, these connections are people who I didn't necessarily expect to get connections from, but I got them. People who worked with Ghanaians, and the Ghanaian one guy worked with a Ghanaian in the US. Like they're from Antigua. They met a Ghanaian. The Ghanaian moved back to Ghana and they reached out. Another person she'd never met this guy before in her life, but oh no, she had met them, but she'd never been to Ghana. And she, yeah, never visited them. But she was like, hey, I have a friend. He's living in Ghana. Like, this is a family friend of ours. And yeah, and turns out, very, very nice guy. Told me to call him uncle. I visit him at least once a month at his house. It was so, so nice. Then the bikers is a St. Lucian who, again, a family friend connected me because he works in an office with the guy's sister. And then the guy lived in Ghana. And then, of course, once I got with them, I got connected to this whole biking group. And yeah, you have to be open to these kinds of experiences. A lot of people may have others who are like, oh, I have somebody who lives and stuff, but may not necessarily reach out. It may not be your personality as well. And I fully understand that. And you might be like, I'm not going to go visit this random person, but you never know what could happen. So that's how I was so well connected. And with touring my family around, for sure, I asked people who lived in Ghana for recommendations. Um, when we went to the north, the tour guide who took us around and stuff, I didn't do anything. I just said, hey, we like this mosque, we like this. I really just wanted to see the crocodiles. I was like, take us to the crocodiles and show us anywhere else. And I got that connection through Fred Dahi, who's a Ghanaian YouTuber, dope YouTuber. Anthony, if you haven't seen Fred's work, go and check out Fred's work. He linked me to that tour guide. So it really just depends. We also want to know when you will get to Colombia's Caribbean coast, Cartagena and Santa Marta. So that's a great question, Uncle Scott. And I believe hopefully in January or sometime early next year. So the plan is that here in Medellin, I'm going to take the next up until December to explore the city, get used to the city, and then next year start to explore other sides of Colombia. So sometime next year, but I'll definitely be going there. When you start your tour business, I will definitely sign up for it. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And Charlie, we're going to see more Ghana videos. Yes, there's so much more Ghana videos left. Listen, stuff. I took my family. I went to Black Star Square. I went to listen, there's some more Ghana stuff. Yeah, subscribe. He is an amazing videographer, right? And I met Fred. Let me tell you how I met Fred. After this, I think I'm finished. Okay, so I met Fred in Ghana because somebody you I know in Antigua. Please also know I come from a very small country, okay? And so that means that everybody know everybody. And so it's not that you have the network of an island, but you have the close to the network of an island. So, anyways, somebody who I know, who my family knows a Dominican. They're best friends with the Dominican, and the Dominican moved to Ghana and got stuck in Ghana for COVID. Anyways, she somehow met Fred, and during my first week in Ghana, she introduced me to Fred. Fred was a YouTuber. We're like, oh, we're YouTubers. Oh, dope. Fred has been amazing. Fred always checks up on me, has shared so many tips and stuff like that and things that I should do. He watches my videos and be like, oh, this was really good. You need to continue posting. Da, 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 da. It's been an amazing friend. And so I mean, I don't know if I would have met Fred without that whole long spiderweb connection, which is dope. What are those cool shades that you wear? Oh, yes, actually, plug. Oh, boy. Y'all remember Bolton, which is actually the company that I work for? And their shades, I have a code. And when you buy something using my code, I get some kind of funds, like a commission from it. So if you feel free, it's Global Gyal 15. These are the frames. They're called Bolton frames. Bolton, sorry. And they're made from wood that's West African. And the company is owned by two Ghanaian brothers. And that's a whole other story. If you want to know the story about that, check the video out on my YouTube. But yes, so if you use Global Gyal 15, you get 15% off. And then you get a cool pair of shades and you help me on my adventures. And yes, okay, y'all, family, friends, so much of my family is on here and I love that. And my friends too, and I love that. And anybody else who has been following Global Gyal. Thank y'all so much for tuning into this live. Amazing. Your support is amazing. I didn't think I'd be speaking to 15 people still after an hour. And oh, last thing I wanted to show y'all. So my room is never complete without a flag. But look at this new flag that I picked up. I won't lie, I found it on the streets for Juve, but that's okay. And it's the Caribbean Unity flag. So it has a bunch of Caribbean islands. So basically just showing the representation and the unification of the Caribbean. And so this is a hint into my next destination in the middle of next year. But just showing y'all a new flag that I absolutely love because it's a flag of flags. So in any event, thank y'all so much for tuning in to Global Gyals Live. And I missed y'all, I really did. So I need to start from this week. I'm gonna start editing videos and show y'all what's going on in Colombia, but also still stuff that I haven't showed y'all from Ghana. And then we kind of go from there. So stay tuned, follow, subscribe. And this is the last thing. So something that I think I've discovered is that supporting Global Gyal helps when there are ads. So if you watch Global Gyal and an ad is being shown um on your stuff before watching, then you're in a country that YouTube will pay me for, essentially. So YouTube pays me when people watch ads. And what I think, unfortunately, is that if you're not watching ads, if you don't see the ads, that means that you're watching and you're getting my views up, which is amazing. But there are no funds. YouTube doesn't pay me for that because nobody's paying for ads on the stuff. So I say that to say, one, if you have ads available on your stuff, watch the full ad. Don't press skip. Just watch the full thing because that will help to give me more funding. Two, if you're in a country where you do not see ads and you cannot see ads, and I don't think Antigua is, that's okay. Still keep watching, but what I'm going to ask you to do is to share and have somebody subscribe and watch. Somebody that y'all see the power of connections and networking. Have somebody that you watch that's in a country that will show ads. And so even though you're still watching, somebody else is watching, and when they watch the ads, then that will help me. So thank you all so much for staying tuned and for communicating with me on the live. And yes, maybe this can be something that's not monthly, but quarterly maybe, so y'all can ask me questions, we can chat a bit. But I really appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm very impressed with how many people came and supported and just talked to me, because part of me was like, oh, maybe I'm talking to myself. But yes, okay, I'm gonna wrap it up now. So bye everyone, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye. Global Gyal, peace. Let me try to do the cool thing.